started recording as well.
Cool. All yours,
Please,
Sonakshi.
please share your screen.
My screen is visible.
Yes.
Yes,
Also
Sonakshi.
hide the bubble. वो जो stop sharing वाला bubble है ना, हाँ उसको hide. Thank you.
All right. Dynamic Product Limited. This company is basically in the food color and dye pigment industry. So here we will start with the company's mission and vision. The company's mission is always to extend the maximum feedback from the customer in terms of quality of product and competitiveness of rates to enable the customer to sustain the local market, because it is mainly in the B2B business. So of course the business, they want the customer like businesses to earn a better profit due to the better quality they provide. And the vision is that company wants to establish strong marketing channel throughout the world, and which is they are quite doing it by having their exposure to the 74 plus countries in the world. Now industry overview. So before we start anything, that I want to just give a gist of what the industry is all about and how we can expect the industry to grow over the years. So global dye and pigment market size is 38.2 billion in 2022, and it expected to grow at CAGR of 5.3% from 2023 to 2030. And India is one of the strong global dye supplier, and means it is providing the 16% of global production of dye stuff and dye intermediates, whereas among this 16%, 90% is provided from the Maharashtra and Gujarat, and it is because the Gujarat and Maharashtra have the availability of the raw material due to the dominance of textile industry in this region. The European region is actually growing really fast from the last over 5 years, and it is estimated to be valued at 1,559.1 million in 2023. I'm mentioning this because the company has talked about it in the 2022 report, that they are expecting to grow in European region faster compared to the other region, because because the demand in the European market is quite higher compared to the other markets. The UK, Germany, France, Italy, and Spain are the largest processed food and beverage market in Europe, and are estimated to be the leading market for the food color in Europe. And on the other hand, the Denmark and Netherlands are the significant market for the raw material of food colors. Now, according to the statistics of MRC, the chemical market is 198,455.29 million 2021, and it is expected to reach 374,594.61 million in 2028, which is 9.5% CAGR. I'm mentioning this because actually in 2020 there was 5-minute interview video of Bhagwan Das Kalidas Patel, who is the promoter of the company, and he talked about that he wanted to allocate the Dahej plant to the fine chemical production, which he has changed in 2022, and talked about allocating the certain percentage to food colors and certain percentage to the dye intermediate instead. But anyways, if the company is deciding to produce this fine chemicals, its market is growing at 9.5% CAGR, and which will also improve the margin of the company in future. Now let's talk about the company. Dynamic Product Limited is one of the largest manufacturer, whereas its competitor Vidhi Specialty Food is second largest producer in Asia Pacific region. Its product range is food color, lake color, blended color, and dye intermediate. So let's go through this journey. In 1998, the Dynamic Product Private Limited incorporated. In 1993, it converted to the public company. Initially, when the Dynamic started production, it focused on dye intermediates, which actually provides the raw material to the dye pigment market, and was only in the sale of the dye intermediates. Whereas in future they started producing the raw material for the food colors as well, the synthetic food colors in 1997, and then in 1998 they decided to diversify themselves in food color industry. Then in 2000 they acquired Saffron Dye Stuff and established the second manufacturing plant in Ankleshwar itself to allocate that particular plant for the food color production. In 2006, they get listed, and 2008, their expansion was completed in Unit 1 and 2. So we can see that from 1990 to 2008, they took a lot of years to set up their business in two plants and focus on food color and dye intermediate. Well, in 2014, they wanted to expand their business and acquire the land at the Dahej. Now, one more thing that I wanted to mention, that this industry is quite a oligopoly market, because the entrance in the market is very difficult, because the food color is mainly exported outside India. It's not that there is no demand in India, but in India there is a lot of unorganized market, whereas in Europe and USA and the other markets, there is a high demand of certain quality checks of the product, and because of that there is a high demand of different quality checks and different functions that has to be completed in order to produce the product and supply to them. There are a lot of rules and regulation they have to follow. So because of this strict rules and regulation, it is not easy to enter the market in the foreign market. So when they actually acquired the land in 2014, they have to get the PUC, and which took 3 years, and they get it in 2018. EC, which they received in Gujarat government in 2018. And then they finally started the construction and completed in 2021. And 2023, they have started the production from the November 2022, and finally got the revenue of 296 crore. Now in product portfolio, just wanted to give just about what kind of product they provide. First is the synthetic food colors, which is used in the different food, that is the confectionery and the other food the QSC companies are producing, like quick service restaurants are producing. Whereas the lake colors are used in the fatty food, because it is not soluble in the oil, so they can be used in the fatty food as well as for the cosmetic industry as well. Whereas the blended colors are concerned, this is all about the customization of the product. They provide any color that customer wants. And the salt-free dyes actually focused on the inkjets. Inkjets means the color that is used in the printer, the color used in the ball pens. That is the salt-free dyes. And these salt-free dyes are actually the most pure colors, because they get through the technology of membrane, and which get rid of the salt and other impurities. Whereas the dye intermediates are concerned, these dye intermediates works as the raw material for the company as well. Means these dye intermediates are also using the food colors, and they also sell the dye intermediate product out of their businesses. Food, drug and cosmetic colors. So this is actually, they provide the food as well as drug, means pharmaceuticals product, as well as cosmetic colors as well. Whereas the application is concerned, they have not given the bifurcation of the sales, so I just presented the application where it can be used, and they didn't mention about the customer as well. So we can just assume that they, industry related to the confectionery, beverages, processed food, bakery products, dairy products, pet food, and pharmaceuticals and cosmetic personal cares are the major customers of the company. Well, I just get this screenshot from one of their BSc report, because other details are not provided. So we can just see that the company has major hold in the China as well as in Europe and America as well. And they are expanding in Europe, so they have mentioned that in their report. Whereas the manufacturing plant is concerned, these are the three manufacturing plants. Plant 1 was allocated to dye intermediates, plant 2 to the food colors, and the plant 3 that they have divided for the food color and dye intermediates. The capacity expansion, the company has increased its capacity expansion to 22,644 megaton per annum. From 7,740, which is the 75% increase in their capacity, from which the 73% will be allocated to the dye intermediates and 27% to the food colors. Well, the company has also mentioned that eventually in the coming years, their fixed costs will reduce as the revenue will increase, and the better margin will be coming because of better economic situation and lower raw material costs, and thus the company will do well in the future. Here are the key managerial personnel. Bhagwan Das K. Patel is the managing director. His qualification is BCom and Inter CA. He has 32 years of experience in sales and marketing, and he is the promoter since the beginning of the company. Ramesh Bhai B. Patel, he is the whole-time director. He has also with the company from the very start, and he has 34 plus years experience. And he is in the charge of the total production R&D Unit 1 at Ankleshwar. And he actually, there was a report about him that he will get reappointed in AGM 2023, which will be coming in around September or so, and maybe given a different position, or may he retire. And whereas the Dixit B. Patel is the whole-time director, he is the son of Bhagwan Das K. Patel, and he has a diploma in export management. He managed the export department, which contributes to 75% of the company's turnover, and he has 20 plus years of experience in the export field. Independent director, there are the three independent directors. The Ms. Shmiki Ottawani, the independent director, she has been with the company from the 14th February 2015. So actually the independent directors has been with the company for many years, so the independent directors are not leaving the company. And secondly, the Jagdish Seventilal Shah, he has been with the company from 7 June 2004, whereas Shankar Al Baluram Mundra is from 29th September 2005. Where one more thing I wanted to mention, that Miss Rashmiki Ottawani is the director in two different public companies named Shri Ram Protein Limited and United Polyfab Gujarat Limited, whereas Jagdish Sevantilal Shah and Sankalal Baluram Mundra is director of only one company. Where the promoters holding, we can see the promoter holding has been decreasing so far from March 2017, and the major change that happened was from 2021 was because Dashrath Bhai Prahlad Bhai Patel, who was one of the promoter of the company since the beginning of the company, has actually diluted his stake and become the public owner of the company instead of promoter. And then he still, diluting his stake in the company up till now. Whereas the other two promoters, like Bhagwan Das Kalidas Patel and Dashrath Bhai Prahlad Bhai Patel, has been constant over the years. There are many more promoters, and these three are the major shareholders of the company. Whereas the other are concerned, there is like 2%, 3% stake, and which are seen to be the relative of the Bhagwan Das Kalidas Patel or Dashrath Bhai Prahlad Bhai Patel, because it is quite evident. Like daughter, then son-in-law, and son is holding a lot of share in the company. Whereas the promoter shareholding has been falling. The DIIs has been falling a lot, whereas FIIs has been zero since March 2022. So we can see that the people are getting money out of the company, but yet the promoters holding the company tight, because their exposure has not reduced at all over the company. But we can also see that there is a minute increase in the share holding of the company, and it is actually because of Bhagwan Das Kalidas Patel and Ramesh Kumar Bhagwan Das Patel and Dixit Bhagwan Das Patel, who has actually increased its stake in the company. Then the next, I just wanted to mention the companies that they're holding the share of the company. Dixit Bhagwan Das as Patel HUF. Of course, it is a family-based company, so they are holding 0.1% of the share. Dynamic Holding Private Limited, which is held by Dixit Bhagwan Das Patel and Mahendra Kumar Kalidas Patel. The family is holding 1.38. Their shareholding has decreased, but at the same point of time, Dixit Bhagwan Das Patel holding has increased, and Patel Dashrath Bhai Patel has diluted their stake from the promoter holding. Well, I just want to start with the financial snapshot to understand how the company is performing over the years. From the first look, it is visible that the company's revenues are constantly increasing, whereas the gross margin has been quite consistent. It's not that bad. In 2021, the of course market was hit, and the gross margin was low. But this was also one of the reasons that the raw material was mostly imported, and later they started using producing the raw materials by themselves and focusing on reducing the material cost and increasing the margin. So the margin started increasing. It is flattening over here because the market was stretched, and some of the material that they imported also become costly. Whereas the EBITDA margin is concerned, it has been significantly falling. It is because of manufacturing expense was high. There was a fuel cost high, and because of that, the margin got hit really bad. That's why the EBITDA margin was decreasing, and it is also one of the reasons that the overall global economy was not good because of Russia-Ukraine war. High inflation in Europe and America market. The demand was also low. So even though it is a FMCG based company, but still it got hit, and because of the margin was falling over here. Whereas the PAT we can consider it has become negative in 2023. For this is because what the company did was when they started the production of the in the Dahej plant, they started recording the interest and depreciation cost in the financial statement itself. And because of that, as the revenue has not generated, the depreciation and interest cost has increased the cost for the company, and thus the PAT margin has reduced, which I think will revive back once the revenue will increase as well. And the expense breakup, just wanted to give a gist how the company's expenses has been over the years. As you can see that the material cost has been reducing over the years because of backward integration of the company, and manufacturing cost has quietly increased. As I already told you, it is because of increase in labor charges, factory expenses, forwarding and handling charges, and employee cost has been quite consistent, but here the 6% has increased. It is because the company has increased the salary of the promoter of the company, the whole-time director of the company, which I mentioned it. And it is like 12% increase in the salary, which is maybe seen normal, but the company was making loss and the company has increased their salary, which is okay. Whereas the other cost is concerned, it is quite high, that is 9%. Didn't get the breakup of it. I think I can get it from the annual report that will be released in the future, but for sure I would like to know about the breakup of other costs. Reason for losses, the wholesale price index, just wanted to mention the cost of material has increased over the years, the dye stuff and intermediates, whereas the other cost that I was talking about has increased over the time, and because of that the margin was hit. There is 97% of power and fuel. The power and fuel was too much high. It is just because they have started utilizing a lot of power and fuel and gas consumption in charges, whereas the other manufacturing expense has increased because of the reasons that I mentioned: labor charges, factory expense, employee cost because the salary has increased of the director of the company. SG&A has been increased because of the approval they require, the fees they have to pay, FDA approval, loss on sale of asset, and depreciation and interest because of the expansion of the company and not the revenue generation. Well, debt to equity. Over the years, the companies that has increased because of the lot of capex, and they generated this capex through the debt instead of equity. So recently, between 2022 and 2023, they issued the right shares to dilute this debt to equity ratio, which is not quite positive for the company. But okay, they wanted to reduce the stake, that's why it is going down. Otherwise, the debt to equity should be this on an average 1 for the company. Whereas CFO and EBITDA is concerned, the company is actually having a better, conversion of EBITDA to cash flows. It has quite decreased. One of the reasons is increasing the receivables, as well as the hit of the EBITDA margin because of high manufacturing cost. Asset turnover. Net fixed asset turnover has decreased over the time. In 2021-2022, it is because of decrease in sale because of tension in the global economy, whereas in 2023, because of the higher base of asset of the company. And total asset turnover quite balanced out over here because the receivables and current asset hasn't changed much over the years. Receivables versus sales, just wanted to present that the revenue is increasing, whereas the average receivable has been constant. So means they are converting their sales into cash, whereas receivables to sales has fallen over the period. ROE versus ROCE. ROE has been falling by the greater margin compared to ROCE because of higher interest rate cost. As ROCE don't have that base, that's why it is decreasing faster than the ROCE, and both are decreasing because of higher cost. And the interest coverage has been constantly falling, which is quite a concern. This may lead to the re-rating for the company because EBITDA coverage ratio and interest coverage ratio both are falling, and it is very important that the company correct this thing, or else it would be a literally a problem for the company because their debt to equity is quite relative to the one, even though they issue the right shares. Whereas the days of working capital, we can see it is falling, means their working capital is turning quite better, but it is also showing that the companies in receivables are less and current assets are less compared to the current liabilities. Well, before starting talking about the competitor, I just wanted to introduce the competitor. Vidhi Specialty Food Limited. It is the second largest food color manufacturer in Asia. It's applied to 80 countries, 6 continents. Its MTPA is 3,500, but it is expecting to be 8,500 under expansion. Actually, they say that they will start their expansion. In 2022, they actually apply for the EC, which will on an average will take 3 years, as the EC for the Dahej plant took for the Dynamic as well. So I think around the 2024-2025 they will start the construction and then get their capex done. And the customers are around the 200. Well, these are the products that the Dynamic provide as well. Next is the capacity expansion. They're expecting it to be 700 here and 1,000 here, but this is yet to be done because they have just applied for the ECR, and I don't think it is going to convert it till 2025 at the least. And then customers, they have mentioned about their customer, and their customers are quite an MNC and a good one. So I think the Dynamic should also mention it so we can get an idea about how they are competing with the Specialty Food Limited. Next. Well, revenue of the Vidhi Specialty is better than the Dynamic, and has been obviously hit by the market as well. But we can see that gross margin is comparatively lower to the Dynamic, and one of the reasons is Vidhi is not backward integrated, and it is facing the higher cost in the market as they're importing the raw materials, whereas the Dynamic has the plus point over here. Whereas the NPM is concerned, we can see that the Dynamic has the lowest one because, of course, of a higher interest and depreciation cost. Whereas Vidhi has just started, making the capex, even though they have started it, but still not hit by the interest and depreciation cost like Dynamic. EBITDA margin of Vidhi is quite constant, where our EBITDA margin is falling even after having the better gross margin, as I already mentioned, because of the manufacturing cost and approval fees. Asset turnover ratio of the Dynamic is comparatively lower, and it is very surprising that a net fixed asset turnover of the Vidhi is 7. On an average, 7 is fallen from 2022, but because of hitting the market and lower revenue from the export. But still, they are constantly maintaining it till 7. But the Dynamic is on an average 2.5 or 2 to 3, which is very low. So I just wanted to know that why this happens. I wanted to search about it, but no reason has been mentioned. Whereas the asset turnover ratio, we can see the gap is lower because of high receivables of the Vidhi Specialty Food Limited. Whereas ROE concern, Vidhi is performing well because they're not making losses, whereas the Dynamic is making losses. And ROCE, because of higher debt, the Dynamic is performing lower than the Vidhi Specialty. CFO EBITDA, well, Vidhi has the negative EBITDA, CFO EBITDA, and then picked up in 2023. One of the reason of this is that their cash flow was churning was very low, and because of that they faced the problem, but they have corrected it. Whereas CFO, we can see quite constant for the company, but has been lower in 2020 because of some COVID, and they have performing well. Well, the Vidhi has also corrected its CFO over the period. Whereas fixed asset purchased of the Dynamic has been high in 2021 because they wanted to expand the Dahej plant, and quite lower in 2023 because it is not changed yet, because they have mentioned in the 2022 that they don't want to capex anymore because they have already did it and they wanted to focus on the production level. And the days of working capital, it is quite better for the BD, because anyways they are getting the churning of the capital, working capital, and they are quite consistent over the period. While talking about the growth drivers of the industry, it is that they are actually adding the capacity for the growth, which is help the company to increase the sale. Whereas the global dye and pigment is concerned, CAGR of 5.3% is expected between 2023 and 2030. The company also mentioned in their MD&A report that they actually provide a large amount to the quick service restaurant, and it is expected to grow 20 to 25% in 2024 to 2023. So we can see some growth in the revenue because of QSR. Very significant barrier to entry is the regulatory need. As I told you, that it is an oligopoly market, and synthetic food color market projected to grow at 9.1%. Risk and concern is very important, because the company is exporting on an average 75% of their product. So volatility in the foreign exchange will hurt the company. The company is saying that the asset and liability quite manage the exposure to the foreign currency, but whereas the net exposure is the concern, they hedge it. Whereas the global raw material prices, though they are backward integrated, there are some raw material they import, but they do not hedge those commodity prices. Stringent environmental regulation imposed, which is quite a concern, because if this will increase, the cost will increase in the future. And whereas the preference of natural color over the synthetic color, the synthetic color market is huge, and they are focusing on it. And the natural color also product they provide, but not at such an expansion. So if the preferences change, their whole production system, has to be shifted. Forensic analysis, I will give the 23 out of 28 to the company. I only mentioned where the issues lies, because promoter ownership is less than 60%. That's why it is zero. Whereas the auditor, a large well-known firm, no, it is not. So that's why it is zero. And does the pay loan to receive the loan? Yes, they do, but it is they are charging only 5% interest rate, so that is totally fine. But still, I will give it zero. And does the director remuneration is percentage is 11%? Yes, it is 12%. So that's why I give it a zero. And bulk deal is an issue which I'm going to mention in the coming slides. That's why I given it a zero. This is the bulk deal I was talking about. I just wanted to mention that the company, on the same day, there's some limited company are selling and buying it. Even if trading it, they're buying and selling to themselves. This company, here you can see that is the Graviton Research Capital Limited, buy and sell at the same price to themselves in 2020. So I just don't get this a lot, but I think this is a concern. Thank you.
Great presentation.
So actually, we'll have valuations also.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Is my slide visible?
Yes.
Okay. Well, before starting with the valuation, I just wanted to give the revenue model assumptions. How I calculated is like, I calculated the opening asset of the company, charge the depreciation to it, and then the net block. So I calculated the percentage of depreciation, which was on an average 8 to 9%, and then it reduced to 4 to 6% in 2022 to 2023 because of new assets were entering, in the company, and the depreciation wasn't charged on them. So for the precautionary measures, I took 8%, the average of the last 5 years. That is 8%. This is because I checked through the annual report, and on an average, they charge 8 to 9% to the company. So I just charge 8%. And based on that, I calculated the net fixed asset turnover, and back calculated the revenue from the net fixed asset turnover. Well, the assumption of net fixed asset turnover, I just want to mention that as the company was facing the problem in the last 2 years, and the company's expansion has completed in the, completed in September 2021, but their expansion actually completed in November 2022. And from there, they actually started the production. So the company was hit by a lot of factors: higher depreciation, higher interest costs, lower revenue, and the higher asset base. So because of that, their asset turnover was lower over the last 3 years. That's why I didn't wanted it to just carry forward in 2024 to 2025 and 2026. That's why for the best factor, I took it 2.7. How I calculated is I just, where is it? Sorry, I just from here. Yeah, average of the normal years. From 2020 to 2016. So I took this average of 5 years from the normal years instead of 2021 and 2022, which were hitting years for the company, and so on. I calculated is like I took this and then this average, and then this and this 3 years average. So let's last 5 years of the averages for all the three. For the common year, and avoided these years. Well, for the base year companies, what I did was I took like this 2023 2023, because they have completed their expansion in November 2022. So I thought that I should take 2023 as well, because 2021 and 2022 was an unusual year for the company, and that's why for the base year I took the L, and then the last 4 years, then this year, and then the last 3 years, and so on. Whereas this worst year is concerned, I took the last 5 years, considering the 2022 and 2021 as well for the worst scenario. And this is how back calculated the revenue. So is this okay?
Yeah, Sonakshi, one basic doubt that I wanted to ask before also. If I look at Screener, FY 1920, the net fixed asset turnover ratios are higher. So just wanted to check, like, is there any issue with the formula, or maybe Screener figures are wrong, maybe? Because can you just do a quick tally? In Screener, FY 19, for example, sales are 167 crores, net fixed assets are 38 crores. So if you divide, the net fixed asset turnover is 4.4, but you are showing 2.6x. So that was one doubt.
Okay. So actually, I took the figures from the Screener itself and calculated it.
So then just check now, the figure is wrong then, because FY 19, as per you, net fixed asset turnover is 2.63, right?
Yes.
But Screener पे sales देखो 167 है और net fixed asset 38 है.
Okay.
You can check Screener, अभी खोलो.
हाँ. In 2019.
Yeah.
It's 167 and net fixed asset. 1 minute.
तो बिना एक्सपैंड किए ऊपर देखो 38 लिखा है.
38 है.
हाँ, तो दैट डिवाइड करोगे तो इट कम्स टू 4.4. So maybe इसमें कुछ गलती हुआ है सोनाक्षी. This, even when you were presenting your graphs, I noticed this mistake. So इसको correct करना पड़ेगा.
Okay, sir. So I can't go further because the sales are wrong there.
Yeah. मतलब इसको correct करके we can maybe do a revised thing tomorrow.
Yes, sir. I'm so sorry for this.
That's okay, not a problem. I have some questions. First of all, a good presentation, Sonakshi. Really enjoyed it. My questions are mostly to do with the Dahej plant. Okay. So earlier their fixed asset base used to be 38 crores, and now the fixed asset base is 270 or 260 crores, right? That means they've put up 5.5 times more capex than earlier they had. So what is their current capacity in MTPA, and what was their earlier capacity?
So earlier capacity was 7,440 something, and right now it is 24,040.
So that is my question. So earlier was 7,400 MT, and now it is
20. I have given it in the PPT. Just a second, please.
Oh, it was there. Yeah, I missed it then, because I was looking for that figure.
It is there. So can you see?
Acha, okay, 22,644.
Yes,
So
yes.
my question is, if they are, see, you can't give them full credit for, मतलब तुम एक चीज समझो कि
Hmm.
they have they have to they increase their fixed assets by 6 times,
Hmm.
but their capacity increased only 3 times. Did you notice that?
No, I didn't. But yes, you're right.
Yeah, so what is going on there? Have they executed capex poorly? Like budget overruns हुआ है क्या वहाँ पे? मतलब what was originally planned as say 130 crore became 260 crores of capex, ऐसा हुआ है? या तो in Dahej plant में they have done different kind of capacity. ठीक है, if they enter different products, Sonakshi, then it's possible that the sales to asset ratio for that new product line can be different, right? Uh, because it may not be that high fixed asset turn. So what is the answer to this? You need to find out, because इसके बिना तुम इस पे क्या मल्टीपल लगाओगे? सपोज
Hmm.
you just look at the net fixed asset of 270 crores and multiply that by what you were doing in your best case scenario कि 21 22 को छोड़ के 5 साल का एवरेज लेके 4.5 से तो मल्टीप्लाई कर दो, राइट?
Hmm.
तो दैट विल गिव अ रॉन्ग पिक्चर, राइट? क्योंकि कैपेसिटी वाइज तो ये 5 टाइम्स 6 टाइम्स हुआ नहीं है, सिर्फ 3 टाइम्स हुआ है.
Correct. Hmm.
तो क्यों हुआ है? was it cost overrun or is it something to do with the product, nature of the product? इसमें मार्जिन बढ़ जाएगा या क्या होगा? That is something you need to try and find out. If you can't find it out, then that's okay. मतलब डेटा नहीं होगा पब्लिक डोमेन में, but that remains the most important question to be answered, क्योंकि उसी के बेसिस पे रेवेन्यू मॉडल होगा आगे.
Yes.
Right?
Hmm.
You understand what I'm saying, right?
Yes, sir.
So I think the biggest question for me for Dynamic is this, कि उनका actual capacity, revenue capacity कितना है अभी, ठीक है? So that we need to establish properly. Then the next question to answer is कि कितने साल में ये capacity पहुंच सकते हैं,
Hmm.
right? 2024 में ही पहुंच जाएंगे या उनको और 2-3 साल लगेगा? That is the second largest question, ठीक है?
Well, that in 2022 they mentioned that कि उनको 2024 2025 में max capacity तक पहुंच जाएंगे because of the high demand in the market. But
अच्छा, they mentioned there in 2022 annual report.
yes, yes.
Okay. And has Dahej started production, Sonakshi?
Actually it does, but उन्होंने ये भी mention किया कि it is not at its full capacity because उनके कुछ
हाँ.
production line issues थे. इसके लिए वो finally functional हुई है from November 2022.
अच्छा, तो ये इन्होंने कोई एक्सचेंज पे अपलोड किया था क्या नोटिफिकेशन?
नहीं, उनके खुद के रिपोर्ट में था.
नवंबर 2022 तो मतलब इस क्वार्टर में है. दे इशूड सम प्रेजेंटेशन और समथिंग.
और उसी में से मतलब बीएससी के जो प्रेजेंटेशन थे, हाँ उसी में से. हाँ
मतलब रिजल्ट जो नोटिफिकेशन था, रिजल्ट नोटिफिकेशन के साथ ही इन्होंने ये इन्फॉर्मेशन दिया.
हाँ.
Okay. Yeah, so that is one question, one of the biggest question. The second biggest question for me is विधि स्पेशलिटी जो कैपेसिटी ला रहा है, तो विधि स्पेशलिटी इज अ मच स्मॉलर कंपनी देन डायनेमिक, क्या? क्योंकि तुम बोल रहे हो इनका कैपेसिटी 22,000 मेट्रिक टन है, विधि का तुमने बताया एक्सपेंशन के बाद 11,000 मेट्रिक टन ही होगा. तो इज इट अ स्मॉलर कंपनी? मतलब मैंने चेक नहीं किया है अदर रेवेन्यूज एक्सेट्रा.
ऑन एन एवरेज लाइक 1300 करोड़ कैप, मतलब मार्केट कैप कंपनी है और बहुत बड़ी कंपनी है.
400 करोड़ सेल्स है और इनका सेल्स कितना है? डायनेमिक का सेल्स है 300 करोड़. ओके, सो माय सेकंड क्वेश्चन इज ऑन दिस. बेसिकली इनका जो सिंथेटिक वर्सेस नेचुरल, राइट? सो डज डायनेमिक डू एनी नेचुरल फूड कलर्स?
हाँ, वो करती है. हाँ.
And what is the difference between these two? Like, do we need to get into that? कि मतलब natural food colors में better margins, higher realization, ऐसा होता है? And how is the demand compared to synthetic? Any insights?
Yes sir, as far as I read, synthetic color laboratory में बनता है, whereas natural color is like food flowers या फिर ऐसे कोई natural product को use करके मशीन में रन करके कलर बनता है. शेल्फ लाइफ सिंथेटिक कलर की ज्यादा होती है कंपैरेटिव टू द नेचुरल कलर, मार्जिन भी सिंथेटिक कलर में ज्यादा होता है कंपैरेटिव टू द नेचुरल कलर, एंड डिमांड भी सिंथेटिक कलर का ज्यादा है बिकॉज शेल्फ लाइफ ज्यादा है, इसलिए बिजनेसेस प्रीफर करती है सिंथेटिक कलर्स।
ओके, बट नेचुरल का डिमांड धीरे धीरे बढ़ रहा है एज पीपल आर गेटिंग मोर हेल्थ कॉन्शियस एटसेट्रा, ऐसा है?
यस।
ओके, तो ओके, ठीक है। तो मतलब दैट इज नॉट अ बिग थ्रेट फॉर डायनामिक की इन्होंने कैपेसिटी जो लगाया है, दिस कैपेसिटी इज फॉर सिंथेटिक और फॉर नेचुरल आल्सो?
उन्होंने सिर्फ फूड कलर मेंशन किया है,
फूड
तो
कलर मेंशन किया। एंड वन बिग क्वेश्चन सोनाक्षी रिगार्डिंग दहेज, तुमने बोला कि जो नया कैपेसिटी है दहेज का 73% इज फॉर डाई इंटरमीडिएट्स।
यस, दे मेंशन दैट।
So dye intermediates are lower realization, lower margin than food colors. Is that true?
सर एक्चुअली उन्होंने कोई क्लासिफिकेशन नहीं दिया कि कितना रेवेन्यू किस में से आता है, कितना प्रॉफिट जनरेट कर रहा है, सो आई कैंट अज्यूम बेस्ड ऑन दैट।
हाँ, बट कहीं से वैल्यू पिकर में या कहीं से ये तुम्हें अगर मिलता है तो इसको कैप्चर करो, बिकॉज दिस इज अनदर इम्पोर्टेंट पॉइंट, बिकॉज व्हाई आई एम सेइंग दिस इज दैट माइट बी अनदर रीजन जिसके वजह से तुम सिंपली वो पुराने एसेट टर्न्स नहीं डाल सकते हो दहेज में, राइट? बिकॉज अगर पुराने प्लांट का तुम्हें कैपेसिटी मालूम है कितना डाई स्टफ में था और कितना इसमें था फूड कलर में?
नहीं सर, वो नहीं पता।
तो ये वाला पता करो। हाँ सोनाक्षी, तो ये दिस इज वन अदर की क्वेश्चन दैट वी नीड टू आंसर, ठीक है? कि मतलब द मिक्स ऑफ finished goods that they have set up now, how is it different from earlier, because it will help again in your net fixed asset modeling. ठीक है, तो 73-27 के अगेंस्ट वो चेक करो। और विधि भी बनाती है क्या डाई स्टफ, या सिर्फ फूड कलर बनाती है विधि?
विधि भी बनाती है,
तो विधि का भी चेक करो कि मिक्स क्या है।
ओके,
ठीक है, डाई स्टफ और ये क्या मिक्स है कैपेसिटी में। yeah, so these are the main questions. I mean, they seem to have done capex at a horrible time. बहुत टाइम लगा ईसी वगैरह मिलने में, जब ईसी मिला सब हो गया तो ह्यूज इंटरेस्ट और डिप्रिसिएशन आने लगा और सेल्स नहीं आ रहे हैं। Interesting thing is their gross margins are actually better over the last 2 years than before. You also captured that. But इनका EBITDA गिर गया है।
हाँ,
मतलब ये तो अजीब ही कुछ चल रहा है।
उनका हाँ, वो एक्चुअली मैन्युफैक्चरिंग कॉस्ट बहुत हाई था उनका, एंड विद दैट उनका फ्यूल कॉस्ट इज आल्सो वेरी मच हाई।
Yeah, but मतलब कितना हाई हुआ होगा यार? You are saying the other expense went from 3% to 9% in FY23.
सर फॉर एन एग्जांपल आई कैन गिव यू द नंबर्स कि जैसे कि फ्यूल परचेज था उनका तो 33.87 से 426 करोड़ चला गया। फिर गैस कंजम्पशन 797 करोड़ से 1443 करोड़ चला गया। सॉरी,
ये सब करोड़ नहीं है, लाख सही है।
सॉरी, हाँ
राइट। तो these are for FY22 versus FY21.
यस यस।
ओके, ठीक है, तो ये देखना पड़ेगा because in your modeling, Sonakshi, you will have to carefully model. See, gross margin picture is more or less clear, okay? What you need to model carefully is this other expenses part so that your EBITDA modeling has to be accurate. Then only your EBITDA modeling will be accurate. क्योंकि मतलब वहीं पे हिट आ रहा है इनको, because they should ideally have done 16% EBITDA in FY23, but they did only 10-11%. वो हिट था because of the other expense. So you have to model it कि अब कैसे normalize हो रहा है. You have to check gas prices, you have to check their other component prices and take an educated guess ये कितना moderate होगा.
Okay, sir, I'll do that.
Yeah. ठीक है, thank you Sonakshi, really enjoyed it. I think if you work on these 2-3 other key aspects that I mentioned, we can sort of make up our mind कि इसको कैसे value करना है, क्या projections करने हैं.
Yes sir.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you sir.
गौरव,
मेरा भी सेम चीज है. Why did they need to do that capex at that time when they didn't have a clear demand situation? क्योंकि अगर वो लोग नवंबर से the H plant is operational in March 23 numbers.
Gaurav, your voice is a little low. Any chance you can?
Sorry.
Yeah,
My headset speaker was a bit high. तो मेरा same चीज है. मतलब why did they do that capex at that time? Because इनके तो demand situation, I mean their sales were not, they didn't have a proper clarity on sales probably. या फिर the slowdown and all. And second thing that you said was November को इन लोगों का दहेज वाला प्लांट स्टार्ट हो गया, right? But इनके numbers में वो reflect नहीं होते. in
Yes.
March 22's sales figures, you don't get to see that. It's actually decreased sales. And
सर
इनके
प्रोडक्शन
inventory,
एक्चुअली सितंबर 2021 से स्टार्ट किया था, पर बहुत सारी इश्यूज थे उन्होंने मेंशन किया,
hmm,
एंड एक्चुअली फंक्शनल उनका नवंबर 2022 से हुआ था, आफ्टर क्लियरिंग आउट द प्रॉब्लम्स.
या तो इनके बेसिकली अब सेल्स नहीं हो रहे और इनके फिक्स कॉस्ट तो बढ़े जा रहे हैं. They are
यस.
sitting at very high operating leverage, which is also very bad for this situation, right? फिर उसके ऊपर से they have what is the financial leverage?
फाइनेंशियल एवरेज चेक करना पड़ेगा सर, डेट टू
2.26.
इंक्रीज. हाँ.
2.26 मतलब खतरनाक सिचुएशन है. अगर सेल्स नहीं बढ़ता है तो they'll have recurring losses, I guess.
यस.
But let's see इस क्वार्टर में क्या किया. What do you think, Nirvan, of this company? क्या लगता है?
See, I think this company will not die. Okay, see the threat with this company is कि bankrupt ना हो जाए, क्योंकि
हाँ.
इनका इनका हालत सही में bankruptcy जैसा हो गया था. क्योंकि अगर
या
तुम देखोगे हाँ, तो इस पूरे साल में 29 करोड़ इन्होंने EBITDA कमाया है और 16 करोड़ उसमें से इंटरेस्ट कॉस्ट जा रहा है. तो
हाँ.
मतलब इट्स अ वेरी बैड सिचुएशन. बट अगेन अगर कैश फ्लो देखोगे तो कैश फ्लो सिचुएशन इज मच बेटर. ऑपरेटिंग कैश फ्लो में उन्होंने 25 करोड़ एक्चुअली जनरेट किया है. तो वो जो हाई डेप्रिसिएशन आ रहा है गौरव, दैट इज सॉर्ट ऑफ इट्स अ नॉन कैश डेप्रिसिएशन, राइट?
हम्म.
तो बैंक्रप्सी तब होती है जब आपकी कैश नहीं, यू आर रनिंग शॉर्ट ऑफ कैश. तो मतलब कैश जनरेशन तो ठीक है इनका, they are able to sort of manage things. So first of all, there is no bankruptcy risk here, I think. ठीक है.
हम्म.
And if you see the stock also, it has bounced. वो पहले 230 रुपए पे चला गया था. वहां
हम्म.
से I think last quarter के basis पे, because margins have revived in the last quarter, so the market is also starting to price it up. Okay. The only question in my mind is इनका डिमांड रैंप अप कैसे होने वाला है. मतलब मुझे दहेज प्लांट समझ में नहीं आ रहा है बेसिकली. ठीक है, क्योंकि इनका ना कॉल है ना कुछ है. तो दैट इज व्हाट आई एम ट्राइंग टू अंडरस्टैंड फ्रॉम सोनाक्षी कि दहेज में क्या क्या वो लोग प्रोडक्ट्स लेके आ रहे हैं, उनका क्या रैंप अप शेड्यूल होगा उनका. आई एम वरीड कि डाई स्टफ ज्यादा बनाएंगे तो यार डाई स्टफ का आई एम श्योर मार्जिन कम होगा कंपेयर टू फूड पिगमेंट. तो
एक्चुअली मैंने जो थ्रेड पढ़ा था ना, तो उसमें इसके रिलेटेड कुछ मेंशन नहीं है. दे वर कॉन्स्टेंटली टॉकिंग अबाउट द एक्सपेंशन, हाउ इट इज अंडर वैल्यू कंपेयर टू विधि स्पेशलिटी. एंड उनका भी यही क्वेश्चन था कि उन्होंने इतना बड़ा कैपेक्स तो कर दिया पर रेवेन्यू का जनरेट नहीं किया, तो दैट वुड बी अ प्रॉब्लम इन द फ्यूचर बिकॉज ऑफ हायर डेप्रिसिएशन एंड इंटरेस्ट दैट आर फिक्स्ड कॉस्ट फॉर द कंपनी. तो ज्यादा कुछ मेंशन नहीं है. और इवन दे आल्सो मेंशन इट कि उनका कोई क्लासिफिकेशन नहीं है और कुछ नहीं है, तो हाउ कुड वी जस्ट प्रोजेक्ट अबाउट द कंपनी.
राइट. या सो
इनकी
गौरव, मैं यही सोचता हूँ यार, अगर देखो अगर इनका डिमांड ठीक ठाक आ गया ना तो बहुत पैसे बनेंगे डायनेमिक. ठीक है,
हाँ.
because it will get its figures will improve drastically. Like you said, huge financial leverage, huge operating leverage.
हाँ.
Just what is missing is sales. ठीक है, तो सेल्स आ गया तो बस इसमें पैसा ही पैसा है. लेकिन सेल्स नहीं आया तो
नहीं
फिर
मतलब एक चीज, इफ यू लुक, उनके इन्वेंटरी भी बढ़ रहा है, पेबल्स भी बढ़ रहे हैं. मतलब ये भी दो चीज जो बढ़ रहा है, राइट?
यार
और
पेबल्स ही बढ़ा है, इन्वेंट्री तो नहीं बढ़ा है. मतलब ठीक है,
थोड़ा सा
हाँ
बढ़ा है,
थोड़ा बहुत बढ़ा
थोड़ा
है.
थोड़ा
हाँ
बढ़ा है.
हाँ
तो
हाँ.
मतलब और ये ऐसे केमिकल में काम करता है जहां पे यू विल हैव डिमांड. आई मीन लाइक दे आर फूड कलरेंट एंड यू नो डे टू डे
हम्म
यूज आइटम्स. ऐसा कुछ नहीं है कि इट्स नॉट सिक्लिकल इन नेचर. व्हाट डू यू थिंक?
हम्म. हाँ,
राइट.
नहीं होना चाहिए, बिकॉज सोनाक्षी वाज आल्सो सेइंग कि एफएमसीजी डिमांड होगा, फास्ट फूड डिमांड होगा, ये सब डिमांड होगा. तो उतना सिक्लिकलिटी तो नहीं होना चाहिए गौरव.
नहीं
आई
होना
एग्री विद
चाहिए
यू.
ना.
बट विधि का भी नंबर देखो ना, विधि हैज आल्सो हैड अ शिट ईयर. विधि हैज degrown actually. विधि has gone from 537 crore March 22 sales to 404 crore. So what can happen गौरव is, see at the end of the day these are B2B businesses. ठीक है,
हम्म.
चैनल में कभी कभी ओवरस्टॉकिंग हो जाता है. ये लॉरस लैब्स में हमने सबने देखा, राइट?
हम्म.
Their ARV API sales completely collapsed because their B2B customers had enough inventory because they had stocked up like crazy during COVID. So this channel inventory thing is exactly what is happening also in all the chaddi companies, the Dollar and Lux and all of these,
या
right? So I think similar thing has happened in dye stuff कि एक साल में सेल हुआ ही नहीं है because channel already had a lot of inventory. So now gradually, we'll have to sort of, if we can understand कौन खरीद रहा है इनसे, and if we can track that industry a little bit, If that industry starts picking up, then the inventory will start getting cleared off from there, and then you will again see sale.
राइट। नहीं, मेरा मेरा जो क्वेश्चन है वो है कि ये सोडा ऐश की तरह बन नहीं जाएगा ना, जैसे सोडा ऐश का इंडस्ट्री, आई मीन ओवरऑल ग्रोथ इज लाइक अराउंड 5%, पर कैपेसिटी हर एक जगह पे हो रहा है। इस चक्कर में क्या हो जा रहा है कि देयर इज इनफ सोडा ऐश आउट देयर, so the supplier or the customer can probably negotiate and all, तो दोनों ने ही कैपेसिटी बढ़ा दिया ऑप्टिमिज्म के चक्कर में।
हाँ,
now
नहीं,
now
but two
demand
things.
is not there.
Yeah, two things, Gaurav, here. One is soda ash is not a regulated food product. ठीक है, यहाँ
True,
पे
true.
बहुत strictness होगा. Sonakshi, one other thing I wanted to ask: are their plants US FDA certified?
Yes, yes.
And the European agency has also certified
हाँ।
them?
Yes, sir. Both.
अच्छा, हाँ, तो पहली बात ये है गौरव,
वन
ठीक है.
सेकेंड, एफडीए सर्टिफाइड नहीं है। आई थिंक आई सॉ देयर वीडियो, डायनेमिक का वीडियो देखो, उतना क्लीन नहीं लगता है। चेक इट वंस। and they are not FDA, US FDA certified. Can you
सर
check that
उनके
once?
वेबसाइट पे मेंशन है कि वो लोग USFDA सर्टिफाइड है।
अच्छा, तब I might have missed
हाँ,
that because I was looking for that actually. मैं
अच्छा।
उनका प्लांट का वीडियोस देख रहा था, तो मेरे को लगा कि यार गंदा प्लांट है, उसमें खाने का चीज बना रहा है, तो
नहीं
मेरे को
यार,
लगा,
यूरोप
बट
खरीदेगा नहीं गौरव, अगर ऐसा होगा तो.
वही मतलब
Those guys
दिस
are
इज समथिंग
very
व्हिच इज
strict.
कंफ्यूजिंग मी अ बिट।
Yeah, this is food grade, right? So that, see, in my opinion, where I differ from you is, in my opinion, this is a high quality business for the simple reason they are exporting food grade stuff to Europe, and number two, their gross margins are 45%. Just check how many chemical companies make 45% gross margin. Not many. So in my
राइट।
books, this is a high quality chemical company which is undergoing a very bad 2 3 factors, demand collapsing plus huge capacity, on their books, and huge leverage. So that is the way I am seeing this company.
हाँ हाँ, यूएसएफडीए है इसमें, राइट। इट्स
हाँ,
इन
तो अगर
पेज नंबर
यूएसएफडीए है
23।
तो वो सोडा ऐश वाला कंपैरिजन देखो, आई डोंट थिंक दैट्स अ करेक्ट कंपैरिजन, बिकॉज नॉट suddenly huge supplies cannot come up for a technical product like this. Yeah. Even if it comes, like Sonakshi said, for Vidhi specialty, it will take 3 years for Vidhi specialty to make that capacity come online, because अभी EC मिला है. EC नहीं मिला, EC के लिए अप्लाई किया है,
ये
तो
सर बाकी।
हाँ, तो 3 साल लगेंगे उसमें, फिर उसके बाद कैपेसिटी आएगा. तो मे बी 2025 2026 इज व्हेन विधीज कैपेसिटी कम्स. और कोई प्लेयर है सोनाक्षी इसमें?
सर एक्चुअली मुझे एक मेन यही प्लेयर दिखा है, बाकी है और भी प्लेयर्स है।
सुदर्शन केमिकल एक बार चेक करना, इन योर चेक दैट यू विल डू ना, 2 3 जो पॉइंट रह गया है तुम्हारा,
हाँ सर।
उसमें चेक करो सुदर्शन केमिकल भी फूड ग्रेड डाइज बनाता है कि नहीं, बिकॉज दैट इज अनदर डाई कंपनी. एक बार चेक करना.
ओके सर।
मतलब ये अगर फुल कैपेसिटी में रन करता है ना, देन इट विल गो टिल 800 crores, आई थिंक 800 900
वो
crores.
फुल कैपेसिटी में नहीं रन करते हैं।
हाँ, मतलब अगर अगर करेगा, इफ यू लुक एट द एसेट टर्न, आई मीन हिस्टोरिकल एसेट टर्न जो भी देखोगे, अगर यू टेक दैट एज एन assumption, मे बी कितना पकड़ो हिस्टोरिकल एसेट टर्न को।
यार मैं तो गौरव सिंपल देखूंगा व्हाट सोनाक्षी इज सेइंग, कि कैपेसिटी ट्रिपल हुआ है इन मेट्रिक टन टर्म्स. ठीक है, पैसा चाहे कितना भी लगा है. तो अगर मैं मार्च 2020 का अगर मैं सेल 182 करोड़ को एनुअल ट्रिपल कर दूं, तो मे बी 540 to 600 crores इज व्हाट आई विल मॉडल.
ओके,
नॉट मोर देन दैट, बिकॉज कैपेसिटी तो यार मेट्रिक टन में 3 गुना ही हुआ है ना, अनलेस द प्रोडक्ट मिक्स हैज चेंज्ड एंड यू आर सेइंग दैट 3x कैपेसिटी कैन जनरेट 4x रेवेन्यूज, जिसका कोई एविडेंस हमारे पास है नहीं, बिकॉज कैपेसिटी हैज बीन सेट अप फॉर द सेम काइंड ऑफ प्रोडक्ट्स, डाई स्टफ एंड कलर. So maybe 550 crores is what I will model on the conservative side.
so almost, yeah, through sales you can sort of get a
Sales and
doubler.
margin, Gaurav,
Sales
huge
and
margin
margin,
expansion.
yeah,
तुम
20%
देखो ना
margin
यार,
अगर जाता है।
तुम देखो एक नॉर्मल ईयर में they were doing 55%. चलो इसका लेता हूँ मैं, मार्च
2019,
हाँ 2019 में
हाँ,
43% ग्रॉस मार्जिन पे 18% एबिटा कर रहे थे.
करेक्ट
ठीक है,
करेक्ट।
अभी इनका ग्रॉस मार्जिन बढ़ के 48 हो गया, तो 20% एबिटा भी कर सकते हैं. तो अगर 550 पे ये लोग 20% एबिटा कर देते हैं, तो 110 करोड़ तो तुम्हारा एबिटा ही हो गया. ठीक है,
या
उसके बाद तुम्हारा अदर इनकम जीरो मान लो, जो इंटरेस्ट और डेप्रिसिएशन जो आना था वो ऑलरेडी आ चुका है, और तो कुछ आएगा नहीं. इनफैक्ट
करेक्ट।
इंटरेस्ट कॉस्ट आर रिड्यूसिंग. इफ यू लुक एट द लास्ट क्वार्टर इंटरेस्ट कॉस्ट, इट्स 3.5. तो अगर इसको एनुअलाइज करोगे तो 14 करोड़ इंटरेस्ट कॉस्ट आएगा, डेप्रिसिएशन इज अराउंड सेम 17 करोड़. तो यू आर लुकिंग एट 79 करोड़ पैट फ्रॉम -3 करोड़ पैट.
Yeah.
ठीक है, मे बी इन से 2 years from now.
Yeah, this is a long term play. This तो is very clear, no?
लॉन्ग टर्म मतलब
मतलब
2 साल भी हो
दो
सकता
साल
है
तीन
यार।
साल का प्ले है।
हाँ,
हाँ।
तो 79 करोड़ पे तुम अगर 15 का भी मल्टीपल देते हो ना, तो ये स्टॉक यहाँ से 3 गुना हो जाएगा।
करेक्ट। नाइस।
तो द थिंग इज टू अंडरस्टैंड कि यहाँ पे हो क्या रहा है इन टर्म्स ऑफ डिमांड। इफ वी फिगर दैट आउट and we can quietly buy and sit on this for 2 years, we'll make a
हाँ.
lot of money.
What is Harsh saying on this one?
I haven't discussed with anybody actually. Need to discuss.
अच्छा.
बट सोनाक्षी, ये जो 3-4 क्वेश्चन हमने किए ना, इस पे
हम्म,
थोड़ा आप थोड़ा चेक करो, वॉट एवर यू कैन अंडरस्टैंड, वॉट एवर यू कैन गैदर,
हम्म,
ट्राई टू मॉडल अकॉर्डिंगली।
ओके सर, देयर इज वन मोर थिंग कि मैं डिमांड कैसे एक्सपेक्ट करूं, मतलब बाय चेकिंग द इंडस्ट्री वो जो सर्व करते हैं।
यार डिमांड तो एक, मतलब देखो, डिमांड मॉडलिंग जो है वो तुम्हें एसेट टर्न्स के बेसिस पे ही करना पड़ेगा, ठीक है।
हाँ,
यू कांट रियली मॉडल ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ व्हाट इंडस्ट्री इज ग्रोइंग बाय हाउ मच, क्योंकि वो
yes,
इंफॉर्मेशन ही नहीं है हमारे पास, ठीक है।
हम्म,
व्हाट यू कैन डू इज यू शुड चेक कि डिमांड पे कोई हिट तो नहीं आया, परमानेंट हिट, जैसे कि गौरव का पॉइंट कि बहुत सारा सप्लाईज आ गया है, चलो इंडिया में नहीं कहीं बाहर से आ गया है सडनली, ठीक है। या मान लो कोई एक कस्टमर है वो कहीं और शिफ्ट कर गया है, सब, मतलब यू शुड चेक फॉर डिमांड इम्पेयरमेंट इश्यूज दैट हैव हैपेंड। अगर वो कुछ है या नहीं, अगर वैसा कुछ तुम्हें नहीं मिलता है, तो वी कैन सेफली अस्यूम कि चलो 2 साल नहीं तो 3 साल में कम से कम ये फुल कैपेसिटी पे आ जाएगा।
यस,
देन यू हैव टू ट्रीट इट एज अ सिक्लिकल थिंग कि चैनल इन्वेंट्री ज्यादा था, नॉर्मलाइज हो जाएगा,
हम्म,
राइट। सो यू शुड फोकस ऑन फाइंडिंग आउट कि परमानेंट इम्पेयरमेंट कहीं हो सकता है कि नहीं डायनेमिक का सेल।
Nivan, you could check the export data, no, for this one?
हाँ, एक्सपोर्ट डेटा इज नॉर्मल यार, उसमें कुछ नहीं है एक्सपोर्ट।
नहीं मतलब कौन ले रहा है वो
हाँ,
जान
कौन ले
सकते हो
रहा
ना?
है वो मैंने सोनाक्षी को बताया भी था, कंट्री ऑफ ओरिजिन मैंने सोनाक्षी को बताया था।
हम्म,
तो सब यूरोप में ही बिक रहा है यार, और बाकी इनका कोई कस्टमर नहीं है गौरव, दे सेल टू डिस्ट्रीब्यूटर्स। तो ऐसे देयर इज नो नेम्स ऑफ कंपनीज एक्सेट्रा।
राइट राइट राइट, ओके।
तो मतलब इट कम्स एज अ डिस्ट्रीब्यूटर सेल, सो वहां से कोई इंसाइट नहीं मिलने वाला। मतलब इट्स नॉट लाइक दे आर सेलिंग डायरेक्टली टू से अ लिंट और अ हर्शीज, या ऐसे ऐसे नहीं है।
या
मतलब they are selling to distributors, it looks like.
and another thing, because these are all food colorants, मेरे को एक जो I mean nagging thought आ रहा है कि because the world is trying to go towards more healthy sustainable, ये वाला trend जो चल रहा है, that is all that impacts such business, मतलब कैसे
वही
उसको
है ना,
impact कर रहा
नेचुरल वर्सेस सिंथेटिक, वही क्वेश्चन तो मैं पूछ रहा था
है?
कि वो भी तो कोई नेचुरल कलर तो कोई बनाएगा ना गौरव, तो मतलब वी शुड
यस।
ट्राई टू फाइंड आउट कि कौन बना रहा है फिर इंडिया से।
मैं सर्च मारता हूँ, रुक जाओ।
विधि बना रहा है, थोड़ा बहुत बनाता है विधि,
और डायनेमिक भी बनाता है सर।
डायनेमिक भी बनाता है, बट उसका अगर परसेंटेज पता चले तो बताना सोनाक्षी की।
सर आई ट्राई
व्हाट
टू सर्च, यस मैंने पहले ट्राई किया पर मिला नहीं, पर वापस से करूंगी।
कैमलिन फाइन साइंस है।
अच्छा, ओके,
ठीक है, मैं
कैमलिन
ढूंढता
फाइन,
हूँ, ये इंटरेस्टिंग है वैसे कंपनी।
या कैमलिन फाइन भी एक बार देख लेना सुदर्शन के साथ साथ सोनाक्षी, जस्ट अ क्विक चेक कि कोई प्रोडक्ट ओवरलैप है कि नहीं।
ओके सर।
ठीक है, ओके, आई एम डन गाइस। एनी क्वेश्चंस फॉर सोनाक्षी? ओके, कूल, नो क्वेश्चंस आई गेस। सो ठीक
आई
है गौरव,
थिंक
विल
देन
हियर फ्रॉम सोनाक्षी अगेन मे बी
आशुतोष।
1 और 2
हाँ।
डेज। हाँ, आशुतोष का कल करते हैं गौरव।
या बट कल हम ऑलरेडी हम लोग के पास
हाँ,
दो दो आइटम्स है।
सब कुछ एक एक दिन पोस्टपोन करना पड़ेगा ना। आई डोंट थिंक गौरव वी कैन डू मोर देन वन
हम्म।
प्रेजेंटेशन अ डे।
आई ऑल्सो अग्री।
Yeah. So I think I'll send a new schedule, Gaurav, just making it one a day and just giving the schedule again.
या वुड
I
यू
think,
ऑल्सो अपडेट इन ये नोशन? आई थिंक
हाँ, नोशन पे
शांतनु
अपडेट
शायद
करो।
से जून में आई मीन 12th को कर नहीं पाएगा।
हाँ हाँ, ठीक है। तो मैं शांतनु का फिर अभी बाद में डाल देता हूँ, उसका लास्ट में डाल
या
देता हूँ।
राइट राइट, ओके कूल।
ठीक है
ठीक है।
सोनाक्षी, टेक योर टाइम, मे बी डे आफ्टर टुमारो यू प्रेजेंट टू अस, ओके, those
ओके सर।
other things. Only 10 minutes to address the valuation model, plus ये जो 2-3 पॉइंट before you go to the valuation model, जो दो
हम्म,
तीन एक्स्ट्रा पॉइंट्स पे तुम पढ़ाई कर रहे हो, उसका एक
हम्म,
ब्रीफ समरी और वैल्यूएशन इन 10 मिनट्स।
ओके, Okay, sir.
Nirvan, last question I had.
Yeah.
So these guys made their capex by doing, I mean, share dilution, right? Raised from the market. How do you see that?
यार मुझे पता नहीं है इन लोगों ने क्या किया था, एक बार देखता हूँ रुको. हाउ
इनकी
डिड दे
ईपीएस
डू
देखो
इट?
बट करके गिर गया था उस टाइम.
अच्छा, सो कहाँ पे, किस टाइम पे,
हाँ,
कौन से ईयर में गिर गया था?
ये गिरा था 2019 को ना. एक सेकंड रुक
नहीं
जाओ, मैं
यार,
भी खोल रहा
ईपीएस तो सही है. इन लोगों ने एक राइट्स इशू किया है अभी 2023 में, इन
Hmm.
ऑर्डर टू इम्प्रूव द डेट टू इक्विटी रेशियो. वो तो आई थिंक
Yes.
दैट्स अ वेरी रिक्वायर्ड एंड गुड मूव.
Hmm.
उसके
हूँ.
पहले
हाँ
कोई
सॉरी,
डायल्यूशन नहीं.
मैं क्वार्टरली देख रहा था ईपीएस.
हाँ, कोई डायल्यूशन हुआ ही नहीं है. दैट्स व्हाई, मतलब तुमने जब लिखा व्हाट्सएप पे, आई डिडंट
हाँ,
अंडरस्टैंड.
yeah, no, I mean EPS in March 2022 and June 2022.
Yeah. So
वो
I'll
जगह
just
पे I
share
missed that.
with you guys how to check quickly for dilution, etc. In case you, I mean, Gaurav, you may know, but just for the others'
Hmm.
benefit. So if you come to balance sheet in Screener and click on corporate actions, here you will get the entire equity history. कब बोनस इशू हुआ था, कब पब्लिक इशू हुआ था, कब राइट्स इशू हुआ है, कब स्प्लिट हुआ है स्टॉक. यू कैन चेक द डिविडेंड हिस्ट्री, राइट्स इशू कब हुआ था. क्या? So basically, they did a rights issue, Gaurav, to raise some equity to shore up
हाँ,
their capital structure.
हाँ,
वो तो बहुत अच्छा मूव है, मतलब करना ही पड़ता. And rights issue is the best way to sort of raise capital because it gives every existing shareholder an opportunity to not get diluted. Rights issue में क्या होता
right.
है, जितने लोगों के पास shares हैं, they are given an option to
हाँ,
exercise the right to buy additional shares of the company at a discount to the current price.
right.
So discount क्यों दिया जाता है? Because after the purchases are done, number of shares will increase and the stock price will come down, right? So
हाँ,
इसीलिए पहले से ही discount में थोड़ा दिया जाता है stock. So rights issue is the best way of raising capital. If you do a QIP or something like that, then the minority shareholders get diluted.
got it, got it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. ठीक है then. I think this company shouldn't give dividend. If they give dividend, then the management is bad.
नहीं नहीं नहीं, ये लोग डिविडेंड नहीं देंगे. अरे मैनेजमेंट, मुझे मेरा मतलब, मेरा ऐसा व्यू नहीं है कि मैनेजमेंट इसमें ना एकदम खराब है. मुझे लगता है कि मैनेजमेंट ने एक गलती करी है, अब देखना है कि इस गलती से कैसे निकालते हैं.
Okay. ठीक है then.
या
चलो.
चलो, थैंक्स सोनाक्षी,
Okay.
एंजॉयड द
Thank you.
प्रेजेंटेशन. आशुतोष, we'll have yours tomorrow.
Yes, sir.
ओके, चलो, थैंक्स गाइस, बाय बाय.
Bye, sir.
बाय.
Bye bye.